we did this date in Waterloo, Iowa, Rock Stock, and you know, we got the chance to play with some of the industry's biggest bands right now: Alter Bridge, Blackstone Cherry, Theory of a Dead Man, and growing up, I was always a huge Mark Tremonti fan. I always dug Mark Tremonti. You know, being able to hang out backstage at a tour bus underneath a tent and sit down with Mark Tremonti and, you know, pick his brain about stuff and just talk to him about the industry. And I mean, the dude sold over 20 million records, man. You know, so being able to chat with people like Mark Tremonti, Clinton Morgan from Seven Dust, you know, Josie and Paul from Saliva, you know, Matt and Ricky from Rev Theory, you know, I mean, it's just being able to meet and talk to those people that you look up to and you idolize when you're a kid, and pick their brain about the industry. You know, it was definitely an experience that won't ever forget.
So hey, it's a great experience for you guys. You're out on the road, meeting people, doing things, but you're out also playing with some of your heroes that you grew up listening to. How's that?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's kind of like fantasy camp for a rock musician, you know. We went on tour with Seven Dust for a couple weeks, and that was one of the first heavy bands I really got into when I was younger. I know they're gonna get upset about me telling the story, but I met them for the first time when I was like 12 or 13, and they gave me the time of day and talked to me and hung out with me. And I told Clinton Morgan that story, and like, oh man, you make me feel old, but no, it's great because, you know, every night, you know, we're doing what we do. And then we also, when we're done with our set, we get to watch one of our favorite bands play. It's the greatest experience ever, I think.
The industry is a huge industry. All kinds of great people you can work with. If you could single out somebody and have your dream unification to have somebody come work with your band, who would it be?
I think like one of my dream collaborations for like this band, just someone to work with and like have on one of our songs, would actually be like Chino Moreno from the Deftones. And it's actually funny, like we're in California, like right in the old stomping grounds for them and everything. But I think the Deftones were like a huge influence on me when I first started playing. I mean, I was in like 7th grade. I had adrenaline. I saw them on like Warped Tour with like nobody in front of the stage, but I was just like, yes, like you are just one of my favorite bands. And I think to have him come out and do like a track with us and just work with us would just be absolutely amazing.
Oh, okay. Well, we did to travel up here. We have this RV, and we wanted to not take it through the most mountainous region of the country, so we decided that we're going to take it around and down. Plus, we had a lot of stuff in Texas and some Arizona stuff and stuff like that. So we're getting, you know, there's a lot of border patrol checks over there. There's a lot of, you know, so we're going. There's a big old stop. We're like, oh, our first border patrol check. You know, figured there for sure they were going to come in and be crazy. So we get there, and the lady's like, how many people? You know, how many people are in here? We're like 5, and she's like, y'all from Illinois? And we're like, yeah, we're from Illinois. And she's like, okay, well, you guys in a band? And we're like, yeah, here it comes. You know, open your trailer, come in with the dogs. Right. And sure. And then she was, you know, she's like, what's the name of the band? And she was like, okay, well, you guys are good to go. We're like, sweet. So she turns around and she walks over to her coworker, and they're and she was like, oh, you know, what band is it? And and we're driving away, and she's like, 7 Days On. And this lady just starts like, oh, 7 Days On. And we're like, what's going on? So, you know, it's kind of cool. I was happy about it.
So you guys have been traveling around, and, you know, a lot of people from an outside point of view think that it's just, you know, kind of the glamour life whenever you hit the road and you're on tour or doing whatever. How's the road been treating you?
It's like the best and the worst all in one. But no, you know, I love it, actually. I'm not really the kind of person to get homesick. I always want to be away from home, seeing new places, meeting new people. I don't think I've ever been homesick. So you know, I'm a traveler, so it's kind of, you know, pretty conducive to that. And you know, it's definitely hard work, especially at the start when you gotta do it all yourself. You know, you don't really have a crew. Right. You know, so every single day you're really putting the work in. Right. You know, and then but it's all worth it when you get up on stage.
Now, you know, when bands travel, everybody's got their little quirks and all that sort of thing. Any superstitions that you have, or that the band has collectively?
I don't know if the band necessarily has superstitions. I definitely have a superstition. I actually do not travel without this little toy penguin that I have. it's a lucky penguin that I've had my entire life, and every flight that I've ever been on, any road trip I've ever gone on, any prostate exam that may have occurred has definitely involved that penguin in one way or another.
I noticed you got a little bit of work on you. You got another tattoo lined up here for the future?
Oh, I always have tattoos lined up for the future. So actually, one of my really good friends back home is a tattoo artist. So every time I go home, if I have time willing, because it's really hard to really take care of a tattoo on the road. You know, like you really don't have running water and be able to wash it properly and everything like that. So I'm a little worried about that. But yeah, I'm actually thinking about like a Jack Nicholson from The Shining on the forearm, like just the splintered door up the sides with the Jack Nicholson in the middle.
Be a great tattoo.
So yeah, but I'm always looking for more work. So
now I know that touring has got its ups and downs. So in your opinion, what's the very best part of it, the sweetest part?
Honestly, you know, it's really hard work. You know, 23 hours of the day, you're either driving or moving equipment or sweating your ass off.
Right.
But I think one of the best parts is that 30 minutes you get to play in front of people. It makes it all worthwhile. And the fan interaction afterwards, you know, you get to hang out with people you've never met before, make new friends. So that's all worth it. All the hard work is totally worth it once you get on stage.
You know, you're out on the road, you're traveling around, you're meeting people, you're picking up fans here and there. A lot of times different fans appreciate the bands in different ways. What kind of fans do you guys got?
We have the coolest fans in the entire world, man. You know, we have the fans that will, after a show, you know, take us back to their house and put us up for the night and, you know, make us dinner, give us a place to shower and do laundry. You know, I'd say, you know, of any of the fans that I've seen around, we definitely have some of the most loyal fans out there.
I got the beginning of a story backstage about something about the Safe Word article. What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, as part of our press team, they working with us, they somehow they got Safe Word to approach us, asking. Safe Word magazine is a big online magazine for like S&M and like fetish kind of thing, like alternative lifestyles, and they wanted to do a feature on us because I guess they like to put rock bands in their issues, and they needed a story. So you know, I had a good story, so I stepped up to the plate and delivered.
So Ben, what's the reason that you got into this business? Why are you in this profession?
That's a good question. I started. I was in band as a kid, and my whole family is very musically inclined. And then I got into rock music, and I decided that, you know, like I really like this rock music stuff, you know. So I'm gonna go for it. And then I played bass for a while in bands, and then I ended up singing in bands. And I just decided that I didn't want to live like a normal life and have a normal 9 to 5. So, you know, chose the most far from 9 to 5 thing you can do, and you know, it's going pretty well.
You know, a lot of times when with specific songs and bands, you have that one single that everybody seems to gravitate to. But when you buy the album and you listen, you find out that single's not the best song on the album.
Yeah.
Do you have like a secondary song that, like, you know, that you know is kind of the underdog, but you know that it's one of your better songs?
Like, one of my favorite songs is actually The Confrontation, and it's on the EP. We recorded it out here in California with Sylvia Massey.
Nice.
And it's actually a song that I get a lot of compliments on, like when we actually sell CDs, you know, to people out there, and they're like, wow, like that's just a really good song. It's short, quick, but it's just one of those songs that it just can grab you, and you just gravitate towards like what's going on, like what the lyrics that are being said.
All right, so the TSA has always stopped me at the airport, like just because of the way I look. I guess I'm profiled even though I'm just an Irish guy. And I've been groped many times, but we were coming back from McAllen, Texas. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, been a long trip, and I'm just getting ready to get totally molested by the TSA again.
Right.
And I get to the security checkpoint, and you know, one of the agents sees my laminate, and he's like, "Oh, you guys just played last night. I really like the band." And I gave him a guitar pick, and he didn't feel me up. I was like, "This is kind of nice. It's one of the perks of being on the radio, I suppose." So Yeah, it's hopefully I can get away with not getting felt up, just give guitar picks away from now on. So.
Okay, did you guys grow up together?
Kind of.
Okay.
We have a little bit of an age difference between some of us, but I mean, me and Mike, our guitar player, we actually went to the same high school.
Oh.
He was there after I was, but yeah, we went to the same high school, and we were all in different local bands, so we were playing shows with each other, kind of that friendly competition. Not always so friendly, but you know.
Since you've chosen this as your career, and this is what you guys are going for, is this the way that you imagined it as far as the music business would be?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I think touring and doing the live aspect of it is pretty much how I imagined it. You know, as far as the actual business side of it, I always knew it was tough. You know, I didn't know it was going to be this tough. I mean, you know, to be honest, you know, what you kind of hear about, you know, certain things about what it takes to really make it in this business turns out to be true, and then some, you know. So it's, you know, it's definitely a struggle at the start, but hey, you know, these are the times we'll look back on and cherish the most.